Just 2 days ago, on Wednesday, July 9th, 2025, a terrible tragedy struck near Baroda in Gujarat. A large section of the Gambhira bridge, which stands over the mighty Mahi River, suddenly gave way and collapsed. It was a normal day, with people crossing the bridge as they always do, but in a matter of moments, their lives were changed forever. The sounds of daily traffic were replaced by the horrifying crash of concrete and steel falling into the water below. It is a heartbreaking event that has left the entire nation in shock and mourning. A stark reminder of how fragile life can be when the structures we depend on fail us. The immediate aftermath was a scene of chaos and devastation. Several vehicles, including 2 heavy trucks, 3 motorcycles and a car, were on the bridge at that exact moment. They plunged into the fast-flowing currents of the Mahi, which we pronounce as Mahi. Rescue teams rushed to the site, but the challenge was immense. As of today, Friday, July 11th, we know that 18 precious lives have been lost, with 2 people still missing and 5 others injured. The community has come together, with everyone hoping and praying for the missing and for the recovery of those who were hurt in this catastrophic incident. To help with the rescue and recovery operations, a special temporary mud ramp had to be constructed. This simple but effective structure allowed heavy cranes to get closer to the river's edge, giving them the access needed to lift the submerged vehicles out from the water. Each vehicle pulled from the river told a story of a journey cut short, a life interrupted. The images from the site are difficult to look at, showing the twisted metal and broken concrete of what was once a vital link for the local communities. This incident at the Gambhira bridge, pronounced Gambhira, is a deep wound for everyone affected. As we stand together in grief, we also begin to ask the important questions. Why did this happen? How could a bridge that people trusted and used every single day just fall apart? Was it an unavoidable accident? Or could it have been prevented? These questions are not just about finding someone to blame. They are about understanding the truth so that we can learn from this tragedy. We owe it to the victims and their families to investigate the causes thoroughly. By doing so, we can ensure that such a disaster never happens again on any of our bridges, anywhere in the country. When a massive structure like a bridge collapses, the cause is rarely simple. It is often a combination of several problems coming together. One of the first things experts look at is structural overloading. The news reports mentioned that 2 heavy trucks were on the bridge when it fell. Every bridge is designed to carry a certain maximum weight, known as its load capacity. If vehicles that are too heavy use the bridge too often, it puts immense stress on the entire structure. Over time, this repeated stress can weaken the bridge's components, leading to tiny cracks that grow larger until a sudden and catastrophic failure occurs, just like what we saw at Gambhira. Another major suspect is a problem called foundation scour. The pillars that hold up a bridge stand on foundations built deep into the riverbed. The constant flow of the river, especially during heavy rains or floods, can wash away the soil and sand from around these foundations. This erosion, or scour, leaves the pillars without proper support, making them unstable. It's like a tree with its roots exposed. It can easily be pushed over. If the foundations of the Gambhira bridge were weakened by scour from the Mahi River's currents, it could have been a primary cause of the collapse, making the entire structure vulnerable. We must also consider the condition of the materials used to build the bridge. Over the years, exposure to rain, sun, and pollution can cause materials to deteriorate. The steel bars embedded inside the concrete, which give it strength, can begin to rust and corrode. This is especially true if water is not able to drain away properly. Poor drainage can cause water to pool on the bridge deck, seeping into the concrete and accelerating the rusting process. Weakened steel and crumbling concrete can no longer support the weight they were designed for, making a collapse almost inevitable if not addressed in time. Finally, we cannot ignore the possibility of design flaws or a lack of proper maintenance. Sometimes a bridge might have been designed inadequately for the traffic loads and environmental conditions it faces today. More often, however, the problem is a failure to look after the bridge. Regular inspections are crucial to spot small problems like cracks, rust, or blocked drains before they become big dangers. Without consistent maintenance and timely repairs, even a well-designed bridge will weaken over time. The investigation into the Gambhira bridge collapse will need to carefully examine its entire history, from its original design to its last inspection report. When we think of bridges, we often see only the concrete and steel, but behind every safe bridge is a team of dedicated civil engineers. Their work is essential, though it often goes unnoticed by the public. The primary duty of these engineers is to ensure that our bridges are safe for everyone to use, day in and day out. This responsibility begins long before a bridge is even built, starting with a careful and detailed design process. They study the land, the river's flow, the expected traffic, and choose the right materials to make sure the bridge is strong enough to last for many decades, withstanding all kinds of weather and weight. Once a bridge is built, the work of a civil engineer is far from over. In fact, it enters a new and equally important phase: monitoring and maintenance. They are like doctors for our infrastructure. They conduct regular visual inspections, walking every inch of the bridge to look for any signs of trouble, such as cracks, rust, or damage. They also use advanced methods like non-destructive testing, which allows them to see inside the structure without having to break it open. This helps them check the health of the steel and concrete deep within, ensuring everything is strong and stable from the inside out. In tragic situations like the Gambhira bridge collapse, civil engineering teams are also on the front lines of the rescue and recovery efforts. Their expertise becomes critical in managing the crisis safely and effectively. We saw this in action when they quickly designed and supervised the construction of the temporary mud ramp, a crucial step that enabled cranes to reach the submerged vehicles. They assessed the stability of the remaining parts of the collapsed structure to ensure the safety of the rescue workers. Their role in these emergency situations is to use their technical knowledge to save lives and manage the complex logistics of a disaster scene. The ultimate goal of a civil engineer is prevention. They are constantly working to stop failures before they happen. This involves analyzing data from inspections, recommending repairs, and sometimes making the tough decision to close a bridge if it is deemed unsafe. They are responsible for implementing strengthening measures on older bridges to help them meet modern safety standards. The work of these unseen heroes is a continuous cycle of design, inspection, maintenance, and improvement. Their diligence and commitment are what keep our cities and towns connected and our journeys safe, a responsibility they carry with great seriousness. The heartbreaking collapse of the Gambhira bridge must serve as a powerful lesson for all of us. To prevent such tragedies in the future, we must commit to a culture of safety that starts with the very first step: design and construction. New bridges must be designed not just for today's traffic, but for the heavier loads they will likely carry in the future. This means using high-quality materials like corrosion-resistant steel and high-strength concrete. Furthermore, designs should include redundancy, which means that if one part of the bridge fails, the entire structure doesn't collapse immediately, giving people precious time to get to safety. This approach was successfully used in the Bandra-Worli Sea Link in Mumbai. Regular and thorough maintenance is the single most important factor in keeping our bridges safe. We cannot afford a build-and-forget mentality. This means implementing a strict schedule of regular checkups. These checks should include simple visual inspections to look for cracks or rust, and clearing of all drainage holes to prevent water damage. We must also embrace modern technology. Installing sensors on our bridges can provide real-time information on their health, measuring things like strain and vibration. This technology acts like a continuous health monitor, alerting engineers to a problem the moment it begins, as is being done on many new expressways. For our many older bridges across the country, we need to focus on strengthening and rehabilitation. We cannot simply wait for them to become unsafe. Techniques like retrofitting can give an old bridge a new lease on life. This can involve adding steel plates to strengthen weak beams, or wrapping pillars with advanced materials like fiber-reinforced polymer, which is like putting a super strong cast on a weak bone. We have seen this work in the successful strengthening of the old Saragat Bridge in Assam. Enforcing strict vehicle weight limits is also a simple but highly effective way to reduce stress on these aging structures. Ultimately, ensuring the safety of our bridges is a shared responsibility. It requires dedicated civil engineers, government authorities who provide the necessary funds for maintenance, and citizens who follow the rules, like load limits. The Gambhira Bridge incident is a painful reminder of the cost of failure. By learning from it and investing in better design, constant monitoring, and proactive maintenance, we can build a safer future. We can ensure that our bridges remain symbols of connection and progress, not sources of fear and tragedy. Together we can and must do better.